Coach RL here, and welcome back to another episode of Scrum Masters versus Product Owners, who actually gets paid more. Today we're digging into a question I get all the time. Do we really need a dedicated Scrum Master, or is it just another hat someone can wear? And honestly, what does a Scrum Master actually do all day? I mean, if you ask around, you'll hear a lot of the same things. I schedule meetings, I update Jira, I make reports, I track capacity, I give status updates. Sound familiar? Maybe a little too familiar, right? But here's the thing. There's a big difference between being a Scrum admin and actually making your team more effective. I've seen it firsthand. I remember working with this one team. Let's call them the Scream team. And yeah, that's not a typo. The Scrum Master there was basically a glorified meeting scheduler. They'd set up the stand-ups, take notes, send out minutes, and, well, that was about it. No real coaching, no challenging the team to improve, just keeping the wheels turning. And you could feel it. The team was just going through the motions. Morale was low, and delivery, let's just say it wasn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard. So when we talk about what a Scrum Master really does, it's not just about the ceremonies or the tools. It's about helping the team get better, finding ways to break down silos, improve how they work, and actually deliver value. If all you're doing is scheduling meetings and updating Jira, you're missing the point. And honestly, you're probably not helping your team as much as you think. Now, let's flip the script a bit. What happens if you don't have a Scrum Master at all? Or maybe you swap them out for a project manager or a lead developer. I've seen this play out, and well, it's not always pretty. When you hand the Scrum Master role to someone who's already got a full plate like a lead dev or a PM, what usually happens is the process stuff gets pushed to the side. The focus shifts to delivery, deadlines, and honestly, just keeping the lights on. The team might hit their targets, but they're not really growing. They're not evolving beyond the basics of Scrum. And you start to see things like silos, stagnation, or what some folks call agile theater, where everyone's just pretending to do agile because, well, that's what the client wants to see. And when the Scrum Master is there, but stuck in admin work, it's almost the same story. The team loses sight of continuous improvement. There's no one challenging them to try new things, to experiment, to actually get better. It's just rinse and repeat. So, do you really need a Scrum Master? Well, I'd say if you want your team to actually improve and not just check boxes, yeah, you do, but not just any Scrum Master, one who's focused on effectiveness, not just administration. I get it, though. Some teams wonder, couldn't a strong lead dev or project manager fill those gaps? Maybe, for a while. But in my experience, those folks are usually too busy with their own responsibilities to really focus on team growth. And that's where things start to slip. Process gets stale, innovation dries up, and before you know it, you're just doing agile for show. So how do you make sure your Scrum Master is actually adding value and, honestly, staying relevant? This is where upskilling comes in. There's this great model called the Agile Coaching Competency Framework. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. It highlights two areas that are absolutely critical: technical mastery and business mastery. Let's start with technical mastery. Now, I'm not saying your Scrum Master needs to be a coding wizard, but they do need to understand what quality code looks like, what good engineering practices are. Things like clean code, solid principles, test-driven design. Pair programming, if your Scrum Master is sitting in on technical conversations and has no clue what's going on, it's a problem. Developers pick up on that, and pretty soon the Scrum Master gets left out of the loop. But if they can engage, ask good questions, and help the team aim for engineering excellence, That's a game changer. Then there's business mastery. The product owner is supposed to be the business expert, sure, but a great Scrum Master can support them by understanding backlog refinement, product strategy, even things like stakeholder engagement or user research. I've seen Scrum Masters who start by just helping split stories into smaller chunks, and before you know it, they're facilitating backlog refinement sessions that actually move the needle for the team. I'll give you a quick story. There was a Scrum Master I coached a while back who was stuck in that reporting rut. They spent most of their time making status updates and tracking capacity. But once they started learning about clean code and got involved in backlog refinement, everything changed. Suddenly, they were leading technical and product discussions, and the team dynamic totally shifted. People were more engaged, delivery improved, and honestly, the Scrum Master became indispensable. So, if you're a Scrum Master or you're working with one, don't settle for just running the mechanics. Dive into the technical and business side. Keep learning and make yourself a true partner to your team. That's how you stay relevant, and that's how you help your team thrive. All right, that's it for today. We'll dig even deeper into these topics in future episodes, so stick around. Thanks for listening.